You ready? I'd like to call the committee of the whole for the Village of Cary for Tuesday, May 17, 2016 to order with roll call, please.
Chapman. Here. Kostler.
Here.
Covelli.
Here.
Dudek.
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
McAlpine.
Here.
Thank you. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll now move to the public comment section where anybody is able to make a public comment to the committee. If anybody has anything? Anybody want to address the village committee? Nothing, Jake? Thank you. We'll go ahead and close public comment. Were you signing in for something that's on the agenda already? Thank you. Now we'll move to the consideration of the May 3rd, 2016 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Were there any changes, edits, corrections?
I believe she said no,
Yeah.
that she wasn't signing it for something on the agenda.
No, she's,
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, good. Sure.
any changes, edits, corrections?
On the May 3rd?
Yes. Committee.
Yeah, let's get that straight. I just wanted to make sure on page 4 or 5, the review of the community grant program application, I just wanted to note in there that where it says that I'm definitely for it, I also had mentioned that I wanted to make sure that we came up with a methodology as to how we were going to split things. I just wanted something in there to say that I wanted to address that, how we're going to allocate funds.
In the 5th paragraph?
Yes, please.
Any other changes? So these will go to consent agenda with the edits as amended. Thank you. And consideration of the May 3rd, 2016 Village Board meeting minutes. Any changes, edits, corrections? None said?
Nope.
We'll go ahead and move that to the consent agenda also. Thank you. Moving to a discussion regarding a variation to Chapter 15.50 to allow a 6-foot-high residential fence in the exterior side for the property located at 1 Walnut Ridge Court. Sorry. Hi, Brian.
Thank you, Mayor. Before you this evening is a request from the property owner of 1 Walnut Ridge Court, developer who has purchased the remaining vacant lots in the Walnut Ridge subdivision. They're seeking a variation, 2 variations, one for a 6-foot-high fence. Second is for the fence to be located within the exterior side yard. By code, the fence would need to be set back 30 feet from the right-of-way along 3 Oaks Road, and then the maximum height that can be installed for a fence in this location for an exterior side yard is 5 feet. This exhibit shows the fenceable area for the subject property as far as where a fence could be installed on the site. Currently, the site is vacant. There's not a house on the property. The property that's just to the north, developer constructed a home on the property last year. As you can see in this exhibit, the fenceable area along 3 Oaks Road where the fence can be installed would be behind existing landscape row that exists on the property and would be further set back from where the properties that are located directly to the west of this property could install their front yard fences. And looking at the property closer, the existing right-of-way in this location is wider than it is both to the east and west of the subject property. The fence location as proposed would be set back approximately 55 feet from the nearest curb line of Three Oaks Road and would be set back 20 feet from the sidewalk, which is located along the property line. The fence would still be installed again behind the landscape hedgerow that exists, but would be significantly further set back from Three Oaks Road. Conversely, properties that are across Three Oaks Road that are on Ann Street have their rear yards that face Three Oaks Road. By right, they're allowed to install a 6-foot fence because it is a rear yard that faces the roadway, and they can install their fences right up against the property line. So while this fence would be 55 feet set back from the roadway, the other side of the roadway, they're basically set right at the property line, which is about 15 feet off the nearest curb lane. The proposed fence is shown in these 2 slides as an example of a fence that's installed in another community that a petitioner is looking to install at this location. Again, it'd be a 6-foot tall fence. The height of the structure would meet all the requirements as far as where the fence could be installed on the property, aside from the 10-foot encroachment in the exterior side yard. These are 2 images showing the existing conditions, the view from Three Oaks Road, taken last summer of the subject property. And you can see the existing landscaping that is located there behind the sidewalk along Three Oaks Road. In the subject case, staff is recommending that the committee of the whole recommend approval of the following motion. Variation to install a 6-foot fence with a setback of 20 feet in the exterior side yard for the property located at 1 Walnut Ridge Court. Staff is supportive of the request due to the unique nature of the site being a corner lot along Three Oaks Road and the width of the right-of-way existing at this location. Petitioner is also here, can answer any questions you may have regarding their request.
Anybody have any questions for the petitioner? Ridgeway Homes is here. Anybody have an issue with this variance?
I do.
I don't think so. Somebody said I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a proponent of it, but I think it's a very pretty area of Three Oaks Road. I think a fence is going to take away from the view. I understand, because we had a conversation about this at a previous board meeting, and Trustee Kostler brought up, properly so, that on the south side of Three Oaks Road, we have, fences right up to the street. I have no idea how that got approved. I wasn't on the board when it was, so I don't have the history, but nonetheless, I won't be supporting it, but that's just my feeling. I'm not a big fan of fences.
Brian, if this was the backyard as opposed to the side yard, what would they be able to put up the 6-foot fence then where they're putting it up?
Correct. If it was
It
a
could
rear,
even be closer to the road. couldn't
correct.
it?
If it was a rear yard, similar to what's the properties that are across on Ann Street in this location, they're the rear yards of the properties that front onto Ann Street. So by code or by right, they can install a fence on the property line along that roadway, and they would be permitted a height of up to 6 feet under the ordinance. Since this is a corner lot, the exterior side yard or front yards and interior side yards, you're limited to a 5-foot height. It's only the rear yard if you're abutting a roadway that our code allows up to the 6 feet.
And then, do you know if the pine trees are going to remain in front? Okay.
So it's a nice buffer.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice buffer that you're leaving there. And
Could you come up to the microphone, please?
Yeah, actually, this may clear up a few things. I did take some photos actually today of the properties on the opposite side of the street. That fence is actually set back. Oh, by the way, my name is Jay Eula, president of Richfield Homes, 903 Lakewood Drive in Barrington. And as Brian did mention, we bought the 4 remaining lots from the subdivision that was developed, I believe, in 2007, 2008. We built our first home, which is a quasi-model spec home. It's been on the market now for, 3 months or so, 2.5 months. We are getting objections to people looking through the windows and seeing the traffic on 3 Oaks Road. And what we're, it's not a condition of whether or not we're allowed to build a fence at all. This is the final plat, but according to the corner lot, there's a 30-foot setback. So we could build a fence at the 30-foot setback line, but if we build it at the 30-foot setback line, the lot itself gets restricted to about a 50-foot wide house. And when you had to take 10 feet back from that setback for the fence, we'd end up with about a 40-foot wide lot. So we're trying to obviously save the lot on top of providing a little bit better of a screen to the road.
Are you going to have enough room to get behind the fence? Because the fence is going to be behind the trees. You're going to be able to have enough room to like mow the grass there or?
Oh, yeah, we're responsible for the maintenance of it right now, and we are maintaining it, but yeah, it would go behind the lots and, use a string trimmer or anything else. And like that photo that was presented, that Brian had presented, was, a fence that was in Barrington on Lake Cook Road, 10 foot off the sidewalk, it's just kind of an idea of what it will look like.
Okay.
Okay. Would you plan on doing any additional landscaping around the exterior of the fence to shield it
Well,
from Three Oaks?
with the fact that it'll be 30-foot setback from the front yard setback, if there's one or two areas where the evergreens that were planted on the entry monument area, we would fill that in. So what we're trying to do is just try to create a little bit more of a intimate location for the 5-lot subdivision than it is right now. Because it's just, obviously with the high school, there's a lot of activity around there.
Okay. I think you have the consensus of the board to go ahead with it with just one objection, but looks like you're going to move forward with that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Would the intention, Director Simmons, be to have it on the June 7th agenda on items for separate action? In light of the feedback?
Would it be under consent agenda or items?
We have a
We have a
Trustee.
trustee that's,
It's-
so items for separate action.
Sure, that's fine. And I don't know if any public is here to discuss the matter as well.
You live on Ann Street? Did you have an objection to the fence? Okay. Because that was part of the property that was,
Correct.
okay. Okay. All right, that was short and sweet. Now entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session, discuss personnel, section 120/2C1.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We will adjourn to executive session.